Hi, Saen Higgins here, and I can't wait to share this video with you. There is so much that we're going to talk about. A basic word, lease. What does that really mean, and how can that transform a property and a deal? Here's the problem. Over the last 15 to 20 years, everything's been so homogenized with the way deals are done. Most people have forgotten how to truly take advantage of a lease. In this video, by the time I'm done, you're gonna show exactly how you can take a lease contract on a piece of property and turn it into a profit. So maybe you've got a property that's not doing really well, it'll do well at the very end. So stick around to the very end, we'll show you how to do that. Now listen, I know you know the drill. Okay, you got to hit the like button, you got to hit the subscribe and all that good stuff with the bells ding on, I don't know what it does on your deal. Also really important, if you have questions or comments, or if you don't like my shirt, I don't care, just type a text in there and we'll address my shirt. I won't address my shirt, but that's okay. Anyway, so let's talk about leases, okay? What is a lease? That is an agreement between the owner of the property and somebody that either wants to become an owner, say that 10 times, who wants to become an owner or maybe doesn't have the resources or doesn't want to get the financing. So let's just look at the challenges. Why would somebody want to lean into a lease option or a lease contract on it? If I am the buyer side of this, there could be a number of different reasons. First of all, a lease contract isn't going to show up on my financials. That is huge. Okay, understand when you're going conventional financing, anytime you get over 3 or 4 or 5 conventional loans out there, the banks start to go, what's going on here? I know to you and me that doesn't seem like a lot if you've got cash flow on the properties, but the banks are highly regulated on this. So they don't care how much cash flow you have. For every rental property that you have to have 6 months of reserves to qualify for that loan. That's like, what the heck is going on here? So I don't necessarily want to do that, number one. Number two, I'll give you an example. I'm doing a deal right now on a 7-figure property, and I don't want it showing up on my financials. I can qualify for it. I don't want to have to go through that. Anytime I can avoid a conventional bank, I'm in. I'll pay a couple extra points just to avoid that. Again, it doesn't show up on my financials, all of that good stuff. So what do I mean by that? So they have a piece of property. I said, listen, if I buy this property from you, you know what the problem you're gonna have? You're gonna have $1.4 million of cash that you're gonna have to do something with. What are you gonna do with $4 million on that? Okay, so now, what do you mean they're gonna have to, well, they have to invest it. Okay, now they've got they gotta put in a savings account, they gotta find interest, they gotta put in the stock market, all these things. So I say, hey, listen, how about if we do this? We'll do a lease option. Instead of paying, I don't know, let's just use a round number of say $6,000 a month on this particular property, I'll pay you $7,500, maybe $8,000 a month for a particular amount of time with an option to do certain things at a later date. And so in this particular example, we've got 24 months. They actually don't even want to get out of the property. So this particular situation is a little unique. So I'm like, wait, you don't want to know, we've been here 42 years. We don't want to get out right now. We've got some things we want to do. So I said, all right, so let's work with this. What do you want to do? They said, well, we want to be here for at least a year, maybe a year and a half. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tie up the property in a lease contract, lease it. They lease it to me, I lease it back to them. Okay, it's just the agreement between the two people and everybody wins. At the end of 12 months, we go back in there, find out what their status is. Hey, we found a place, we want to do this, we want to close in the next 6 months. Good. I could have done some improvements to the property. This is a massive property. I could have done some improvements to the property, bring up the value. Now I go into the bank and go, hey, I've got a $1.8 million property. It's worth more money because I fixed it up, and they'll lend me more money. I could possibly come out with no cash out of pocket. Right now, I'm tying up $1.4 million worth of property with a $10,000 deposit. The upside potential on this particular deal is over $3 million. I like that one a lot. Okay, so that's how you want to do it. That's just one particular situation. So one of the things you want to look at with this is how you set up the lease contract on this. So in other words, if I'm going into a property, let's say I'm the owner, let's just go the other direction. So I'm the owner of the property and somebody else wants to come here. I love these all day long because instead of renting where I become the landlord, by the way, if you know the history of landlord, right? Lords, England, they had land and they put it out and they, that type of deal. Anyways, look up the history on that. But anyways, the landlord, I'm responsible for hot water heaters. I'm responsible for the roof. All of that stuff. Anytime something goes wrong, I get a phone call. If I go with a lease on it, I go, okay, what are you looking to do? Well, maybe I don't qualify, especially for some of the lower end properties I have. Maybe somebody doesn't qualify right now. Maybe they've got a credit history. Maybe had something medical happen in the background. You can always do your own research on it. Look, I can't get conventional financing. All right, let's do a lease with an option to purchase. Okay, so what am I saying here? We'll do, a lot of my standard ones are 3 years. Okay, so because you can fix anything in 3 years. Downturns in markets, 2 to 3 years. Okay, upturns in markets, 6 to 7 years. Okay, there's a standard cycle there. So if somebody had something happen, it usually takes 2 to 3 years to get back on their feet. So it doesn't necessarily even have to be that way. You say, hey, I'll do a lease option on this. Okay, so we'll set a price, and let's say it's a $200,000 piece of residential real estate. So we'll set a sale price of $230,000, and that purchase can be optioned. You can purchase it at $230,000 anytime in the next 3 years. In the meantime, instead of paying $2,000 a month, we're going to pay $2,300 a month, and that $300 a month is going to go towards your down payment if you exercise the right to purchase this. So, oh, wow, what do I need to give you? Well, you just give me $5,000 now, almost like a security deposit, and the property is yours. Now, I want to stop right there. The property is yours. So what that means is if the hot water heater, the roof, they want to remodel, have at it. They are owners. Take ownership of the property. They can remodel and everything. But if they don't exercise their right to purchase that property at that predetermined price in the next 3 years, we can either renegotiate or I get the property back. Okay, so everybody's kind of got the best of both worlds. And this isn't new. Literally, this is the way it used to be done until the banks got involved and pretty much standardized all the 20% down and your first baby and firstborn and blood samples and all that crazy stuff. This is the way it was. As long as they agree and you agree, you can do a deal. Now, it's extremely important to have a good contract on this. What do I mean by a good contract? A good contract is make sure you've got a proper lease contract, lease option in your particular area, your state. So get a real estate attorney involved, pay a few $100s, have them standardize it. I've got these already. And so what I'll do is I'll write up the contract. I'll put it by my attorney. They go, yeah, this is good to go. Everybody signs and you're good to go. Now, when you go to exercise the right to buy it at a later date, it's going to be a straight purchase. You're going to open up escrow, title company, all of those good things at a later date. You don't need to do that right now. This is a really slick way to get a property into the market right away without a lot of headache on their part, your part, the whole 9 yards. Everybody wins. And here's the great thing. You kind of still have control of the property. Even though it's their property and they can fix it up and they can do all those wonderful things, it's still yours until they exercise their option to purchase the property. So it kind of works both ways on this. Either way you want to look at it, everybody wins on this situation. Listen, there's a lot more we can do with lease options out there. There's single family residential properties. One of the ways I love doing lease options on this is raw land. Look at some of my videos on land. So when I go in there, I'm doing a deal right now. We've got squabbling siblings. They have a piece of property. I want the property. I want to build on the property. I know they've been arguing because I've been watching this property for a while. I said, how about if we do this? I'll give you your full asking price. I'm only going to give you $5,000 now, and we're going to close in 24 months. They're like, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do it. Okay. Well, in the next 24 months, I'm going to build my piece of property. I'll be out of there. And so technically speaking, I'm into the property for a mere $5,000. There are so many techniques you can do with this. And guess what? I have a brand new course and step-by-step guide on exactly how to put all this together. All you have to do is click the link down below. It's higginsmethod.com. Click your information in there, do whatever we ask you to do in there. And this course is my gift to you. This is Saen Higgins saying good luck and God bless. Thank you.